Hello, I'm Scott Bogey. I did an interview with Michael Blair. Enjoy. Here with Michael Blair ahead of his fight against Kye Stevens. How are you doing today?
Thanks very much for having us on.
And obviously, Cage Warriors 176 is coming up thick and fast. It's on September the 7th. How are you feeling for the event? How has training camp been?
Yeah, I'm excited, mate. Obviously the last one went very well. I know kind of what to expect with this one. Same arena. Me and all the guys in the gym who are also on the card. All been training hard, all preparing for it for the past 3 months, 4 months. So yeah, really excited. Trainings went really well. Um, no injuries. Feeling fit, ready to go. So just excited to get in there now.
And like you were saying, your last fight was at the Braehead Arena. Do you feel like that's in your favor? You know the scene, you know the arena, you know what's going to happen, you know where everything is.
Definitely. Especially with the visual, I've been able to visualize exactly what the situation is going to be in the lead up and the build up, what changing room you're going to be in, where you go just before the fight, walking out in front of the crowd. It's easy to get your kind of head into that space, the right kind of mind frame to go out and fight, and it does make it a lot easier, especially if you fought in the same arena. Yeah, just know what to expect. Hopefully, the last one I felt fine. Felt really comfortable walking out. So hopefully this one's just more of the same.
And how was the atmosphere? Obviously, I was there. It sounded great. It looked great. How was it to you as a fighter?
That was amazing. It was amazing, mate. The place was going crazy. Every Scottish fighter on the card would say the same. Everyone was loud from the first fight to the last fight. Um, aye, place was absolutely bouncing. So hopefully it's more of the same this time.
And in your last fight, it was against I think it was Deck Dean, and it was a
Yep.
decision victory. How was that fight for you? How do you feel it went?
It also went well. I thought. Well, I won all 3 rounds. I
Yeah.
thought I was pretty dominant in it. I was really hoping to get the finish, but I think after maybe halfway through the second, I think he just got really defensive and was just trying to stay in there. And he wasn't really going for as much stuff. Either that or I was just able to shut it down quite well. So I think if he was maybe a little bit more open, take more chances, I would have maybe got the finish. But that's, to be fair to him, he would have got finished if he opened up.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully this time we can get the finish here, the crowd go mental. But I was also really happy to get the 15 minutes in the bank. Now I know I can push at that pace, so yeah, we victory that is.
And this is your first fight in Cage Warriors. You're 1-1. In that first fight, it was a defeat. How can you just explain to me? It was at a catch weight. Obviously, all your fights have been at lightweight. What was the situation with that?
Yeah, so it was a catch weight of I think it was 74 kilo. It was just because it was a short notice fight. So I was originally supposed to fight on, I think it was the Cage Warriors Newcastle. It was in a few weeks' time prior to that fight.
Yeah.
And I had to, sorry, my opponent pulled out on that. On the Monday night, we found out, obviously, my opponent pulled out for the fight in 3 weeks' time. And we had an opportunity to fight that Saturday. And it was just because I hadn't been waterloading, hadn't been doing the fight week prep, we managed to get the fight at 74 kilo. But obviously, the guy I fought, Tarek, he's a lightweight anyway, so I think he was kind of happy to fight at 74. So it just made it a little bit easier to jump down there on a few days' notice and just fight up a little bit of weight.
And how do you feel like, obviously, with your opponent Kai, the last couple of fights have been at lightweight. However, he started his career at a welterweight. Do you feel like he's going to have the power advantage, or do you feel like, well, how do you feel like that's going to work out?
He looks like quite a big, strong guy. If he's got the power advantage, if he's bigger, stronger, I'm not too bothered. I've sparred with big guys in the gym. I've got rounds in my really good welterweights for this fight camp. Even before I knew I was fighting him. So that doesn't bother me. If anything, I think if he's stronger, I'll be faster. I know I hit hard enough. I know I'm strong enough to do some damage, to knock him out, to stop the takedowns, get the takedown. So that stuff doesn't bother me. If he's strong, we'll see how strong he is at the end of the fight. There's ways to go around like negating that kind of stuff. So it doesn't bother me too much. Especially in the start of your career, everyone seems to be a little bit a higher weight class. I fought at amateur at 77 once or twice and some catch weight, so it doesn't bother me too much.
And When did you find out that Kyle was going to be your opponent?
I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Um, yeah, it took a little bit of time to get matched for this one. But then name Kye Stevens came up. Brian had a
Yeah.
look. Obviously, there's a good opponent. Watched a few of his fights. Looks good. Looks technical. Good shape. Good striking. Good wrestling. Good. Looks good on the ground as well. So yeah, good matchup. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a fun fight, but I think I'll still get the win.
And how much do you feel like Cage Warriors obviously feels in your brand? Also, because obviously before they announced your fight, they announced you were going onto the card. They tried to get build up the ticket from that. Do you feel like that just shows how much faith they have in you?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's really good to see. Them putting a little bit of extra emphasis on letting people know that I'm on the card, that some of my other teammates are on the card as well. So yeah, hopefully can repay the faith with a really good performance for them.
And you're obviously with the Scottish Hit Squad. A lot of your fighters are on the card, like Chris Bungard, like there's lots of fighters on there. How has the atmosphere in the gym been?
Oh, it's been brilliant. So there's five of us on it: myself, Chris Bungard, Jordan Strong, Ryan Campbell making his Cage Warriors debut,
Yeah.
and Igor. So four lightweights. Igor's obviously flyweight. He fought last time as well. All of us have been pushing since we knew the date. All of us been preparing together, pushing each other on the rounds, whether it's sparring rounds, holding pads for each other, extra conditioning sessions. So all of us are ready. Really good buzz about the gym. There's also a fight event, a kind of local show this Saturday, up our way, Chris Bungard show. So lots of the other amateur guys were preparing for that. So yeah, there's been a really good buzz in the gym the past few months.
And do you feel like all you guys having fights on this event, also you're saying the amateur one this Saturday, do you feel like having all these people having fights ready just improves you even more because you're all looking to become the best shape possible for your fights?
Definitely, man. It's just everyone's a little bit sharper. Everyone's a little bit more competitive. Um, you can push each other till the very end of the last round that you're doing. Sometimes when you're maybe not fighting, one of your training partners is, everyone's always in the gym and preparing with them. That goes without saying. But they can maybe just be a little bit sharper, a little bit fitter. They hold you against the wall. You're like, oh, he's just a bit fitter in this at this point in time. Let him have it. Now it's you're held against the wall. Fuck, I need to get out. I can't be losing this round. Like I'm on bottom right. Let's scramble. So no one's given an inch, and yeah, it's just really good to see everyone pushing each other.
And when you heard that the Glasgow card was going to be announced, did you just try to get back into it, get your name into this card?
Oh yeah, straight away. As soon as I left the medical tent, went to you go hand your paperwork into the Cage Warriors office right after the fight, and I seen Graham Boylan. I was like, that was amazing out there. Surely he's back at the end of this year, and he said September. I was like, cool, get me on it. I straight away wanted to experience that again. So yeah, as soon as the fight was over, we knew the date we were coming back, so everyone was straight back to the gym. I'm getting ready, try to prep for this date.
And when did you find out that you were going to be on the card? You may not have had an opponent, but when did you know that you're going to be on the card somehow?
Uh, a good wee while ago, to be fair. Um, I think it would only make sense to have as many Scottish fighters on the card as
Yeah.
possible. So I think as soon as they announced it, we all kind of knew we would all be back on. Especially we've all kind of got multi-fight deals, so we knew it would make sense to get the Scottish fighters back on the Glasgow card. So yeah, as soon as that fight was over, straight back to the gym, let the body heal, and then we're straight back to try to prepare for this date.
And how do you feel like Scottish MMA is just evolving? And September is going to be a massive month for us. You have got the Cage Warriors event at the start of the month, with obviously you and lots of your team, lots of other Scottish fighters, Reece McEwen, all fighting on there. At the end of the month, you have PFL Europe coming into Glasgow as well, like, and a lot of different other fighters going to be on that one. How do you feel like that?
Yeah, it's going to be a massive month for the Scottish MMA scene. Obviously start the month with the Cage Warriors, and then hopefully end of the month really good performance from the rest of the Scottish fighters on PFL. Some big names on that, some guys I'm looking forward to watching. Stevie Ray, Robert Whiteford, obviously. Some of the boys at higher level. We've got Mark Ewan, Lorenzo. Curious to see how their fights go. Gemma Auld making her debut. So yeah, that'll be a great show as well. It just shows that the Scottish MMA scene is booming at this point in time. You can get two really big promotions up here in the same month. Um, yeah, selling tickets and making some really big fights and letting Scottish MMA thrive. Whereas this wouldn't have been possible 5 years ago. There's no chance you would have got one show, never mind two.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point we're spoiled.
And obviously, the last UFC 304 was in Manchester. Do you think they could ever come up to Scotland? We do have a few fighters in the UFC, Chris Duncan, Paul Craig. You also have a lot of up and coming fighters. Do you feel like we could maybe get one in the Scotland in the near future?
Hopefully. I was at the last two UFC Glasgow's. Really good events, buzz with the crowd, great buzz. So yeah, hopefully they're back up relatively soon. I think it's been 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
since they were last year. Um, yeah, I don't see why not. Especially maybe it just takes someone getting a little bit of a breakthrough. Maybe if Paul gets a couple wins on the trot, you can maybe drag him back here. Maybe if Chris Duncan gets a wee streak going. But yeah, you've got definitely enough talent that I wouldn't be shocked if some other fighters get signed to the UFC. You've also got, I think, talking to any fighter, any any fighter outside of Scotland, people love travelling here. People love coming to visit. Angela Hill, who was commentating the last Cage Warrior show, she loves coming to visit. I'm sure you'd get so many people clamouring to fight on the if there was a UFC Scotland card. So yeah, so I don't see why not.
And speaking a bit more about your career, how was it making the trip from amateur to pro? Also, you were an undefeated amateur. And then do you feel like that was you resetting your career in a way, or do you feel like that amateur career still followed you into your pro ranks?
It was just more of the same, to be honest. Even at amateur, all the guys from our gym were really dedicated, really training like professionals the full time. Was also training with Chris Bungard, Paul Craig at the time, all throughout my amateur career, so I could see how those guys would prepare for fights, and all the guys in the gym were just following suit, doing the same stuff. So it was really just a continuation on. Not too much changed. Just obviously a slight adjustment with the rule sets and stuff like that. I'm getting used to the 5 minute rounds, but to be honest, it was just really similar to what we were already doing.
And what was it that got you into the cage to start off with?
I started MMA just to kind of keep fit. I was always a massive fan of it for years since I was early teenage years. And then I stopped playing football when I was maybe 16, 17. Needed something to do. I was just bored. Um, Decided to go down to the MMA gym. I thought I'd just do it to keep fit. And then I loved it. Started going every day, a couple hours a day, 3 hours a day now. Started to compete, started to spar. And then, yeah, it just snowballed from there.
And do you feel like this card definitely has the potential of being card of the year? Obviously, you have Chris Bungard, you have the welterweight tournament that's going to happen, and then also announced today, George Hardwick will be defending his lightweight title. Do you feel like this has the potential of being that card of the year?
Definitely. Like you said, some great fights on it. Some big names in Cage Warriors. Obviously, Chris Bungard, Reece McCoon's fighting. His
Yeah.
headline shows. George Hardwick coming back into the cage, defending his belt. 4-man tournament. So it's got everything you want on a Cage Warriors card. Obviously the crowd. Hopefully that's just as crazy as last time. Don't see why not. So yeah, like you said, definitely has potential to be one of the better shows that we've seen in the last little while. Hopefully, like you said, card of the year.
And obviously, the welterweight tournament is on the card. How do you feel like that? What's your take of the Pride Fighter tournament? Would you want to be part of it?
I've always loved to have fought in a tournament. I wanted to do them amateur, never had the opportunity. I think it would just be really exciting, be a really like interesting thing to do to prepare for. I'm really looking forward to watching it. It's a shame Sean Clancy's not in the actual
Yeah.
running order for it. He's in the reserve bout. But again, you never know what can happen. Someone can get cut, someone can break their hand, whatever. You can always jump in there. Yeah, if the opportunity opens up for me somehow to be in the lightweight one, I'd jump at the chance. 50 grand, take that all day. Um, yeah, it'd be a great experience, and I think it's a great thing that Cage Warriors are doing, giving people that opportunity, and it's really exciting to watch as well.
Exactly. And as long as all goes well in this fight, when are you wanting to get back in the cage? I know in November they are heading to Newcastle. Is that where you're targeting, or
Yeah, hopefully I'm out this fight unscathed, no major injuries, and then yeah, I'd love to be getting one more fight in, sorry, before the end of the year, and then Newcastle would be perfect timing. The Scotland crowd's mental, Newcastle crowd's just as mad. Seeing that last time Bungard fought, that place was bouncing. So yeah, if I can fight there, that'd be perfect case scenario.
well, thank you for coming on. I know you're going to have a great fight and you're going to get that victory. I'll let you have the final word. Anything you're wanting to say, anyone you're wanting to shout out?
Thank you, mate. Not just want to shout out all the guys in the team who've helped me prepare for it. Brian Gallagher, obviously the head coach. All the guys on the fight card. We've got Chris, Ryan Campbell, Jordan Strong, Igor. All of us getting ready, all of us prepared, and yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone on September the 7th.
Well, if you are in the Glasgow area on September the 7th, make sure you get tickets for the Braehead Arena. It's going to be a fantastic night. Cage Warriors put on a great show. If you aren't able to get tickets, make sure you watch it on the UFC Fight Pass. You're not going to regret it. Thank you, Michael, for coming on.
Thanks, mate.